for the man who spun plates. On the old Ed Sullivan Show on Sunday nights, before Topo Gigio, the waltzing mouse, before the Beatles and the Mersey Beat, before we all knew all we needed was love, someone to kiss us goodnight. There was a man who spun plates on long, slender poles, keeping them spinning with the tips of his fingers, running from one side of the stage to the other, the crowd calling out to him when a plate started wobbling. The man so intently spinning plates in the air, a little like Jesus before the Last Supper, keeping his disciples' halos from falling. The crowd, like the masses with the bread and the fishes, crying, "Judas, watch Judas, his halo is falling." Jesus, too busy, holding up the whole world. And sometimes he'd miss one, and we'd all see it fall, shatter like crystal all over the stage. And we loved him even more then because he was real, working as hard as the devil for us. But we didn't know then that our lives would break too. My good friend whose daughter just drowned in Brazil, his plates all come down like a crockery sea. He tries to lift her up again, get her life spinning, as if he could raise her from under the waves that keep falling, one after another, like shimmering plates on the sea. I almost feel awkward saying inspiration in the way that it came. It really was pure grief. It really was. My editor, my first editor, and a dear, dear friend, Christopher Howell, his daughter, who I think it's fair to say was the love of his life. She was a student, college student who was spending a semester down in Brazil, and he got that call that no parent ever would be prepared for, and she drowned. She had died there, and just reaching out to him and communicating with him back and forth, just trying to find him, just trying to picture what he was going through, that thing that no parent ever imagines. And I just kept finding myself feeling like I was some kind of audience. I was watching some kind of movie or video of a friend in real trouble, and it was almost like it was in slow motion or something, like he was just walking through a desert or something. You just couldn't help him. He lived in Spokane, Washington at the time, and he's just so far away. I couldn't be there for him, so I just found myself picturing that. There was something that happened, I remember just as a little kid, and I had to dig a while to remember this. I remember sitting there, the whole family, we just sat there like the Simpsons or something. We just watched this show, and suddenly this guy on the Ed Sullivan Show was doing that very thing. He had these long poles and he had all these plates spinning, and it just seemed so tacky and cheesy now, but when you were a kid and you had never seen anything like that before, it was magic. When that plate started wobbling, and the audience on the Ed Sullivan Show would be actually, literally, they'd kind of forget themselves and they'd start yelling to get him to run across the stage and go get that one spinning again. And it was kind of sweet in a way, and stupid. But as a little kid, I remember I was actually almost doing the same thing. I was kind of saying out loud that I wanted the guy to, and it was powerful to think that some kind of performance could move you to actually say something. And it felt like it was coming out of your heart. It felt like just telling him to look out, look out. And you couldn't stop that. So as a poet, I think that's what we're doing. We're trying to write something with our minds, actively pulling whatever we can, and associations and experience. But it's the hope, I guess, the dear hope is that your heart kind of has something to say in the poem too, and that just comes out. It whispers or something, tells you where to go.